folks, and welcome to Garbage Theater. Tonight's installment, The China Salesman. Blech. I'm your host, Chase, with my co-hosts, Blake and John.
I don't see the issue here.
You, sir, you owe everybody an apology on this one.
I absolutely do not owe anyone an apology.
Everybody, I am so sorry if you actually watched this movie.
Yeah.
I
owe you a beer or something.
Look, if anybody knew the shit I was getting on text messages over this movie.
Before we go any further, let's not jinx this for a fourth time in a row. Let's get this shit show on the road.
Yeah, you're right. Right. You know, I'm sorry. I thought we were doing a podcast about shitty movies. And you pick a shitty movie and all hell breaks loose.
This wasn't a movie.
Bullshit. This had some of the best cinematography we've ever seen on the show.
This movie had a worse case of ADD than Derailed.
Did you see some of the shots in this thing?
Oh, you mean in the shots that lasted all of 0.2 seconds?
They were longer than Derailed.
Not in Derailed, where at least it was all in the same goddamn scene. This was jumping all over the goddamn earth with every single cut.
Well, I will say this. I was confused as to who was fighting who a few times, but...
Incomprehensible movie. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
it wasn't that bad.
No, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
No. Like I said in the pre-show discussion, go ahead and give this thing the worst of the worst trophy.
Well, all I gotta say is
it's a strong contender right now.
Give it the worst of the worst trophy for all time. I don't give a shit.
Then doesn't that mean that I did the right thing? It's a show. It's a show about shitty movies.
This is beyond shitty movie, though.
Then I did my job well.
Okay, just to give the audience a little bit of backstory into the emotional roller coaster that's been the last 24 hours. When I finally pseudo finished this movie yesterday, I sent a text to Blake damning him for it, to which he announced he hasn't even watched the fucking thing.
Which is surprising to me because he said he basically watched the whole thing when he pitched it.
Oh, spoiler alert, John. That was a lie. He did watch
it. Which one was the lie?
All of them.
All of them at the same time. You know, at one point I was thinking, you know those videos you watch on YouTube where people quit their job in like spectacular fashion? What if this is me saying, you know what, I'm out?
So this is 2 seasons in a row you've threatened to quit.
No, I'm not quitting. I'm just saying, what if?
Or you've considered it. Oh God, yeah. This. Okay.
This is gonna define shit show. The shit show described.
Let me just say, I was very, very happy to hear, like, when I first started watching it, and it said based on a true story, and I was like, holy shit.
My Christ.
The second thing is, if you're watching this, like, it took me halfway through the movie to realize the state of mind I needed to be in to watch it. This is a movie.
Dead?
Yeah. This is a movie for the guy who, like, his job is everything, but wants it to be more exciting. So, like, this guy's just selling, cell phone networks all day. It's boring. But what if a civil war broke out and he was the hero? That's all it is. Some dude sitting in a cubicle thinking, man, how could my life be better? Oh, I know.
Some asshole sitting behind the desk of a Sprint store.
Yeah.
At the kiosk in the mall.
Oh, Lord. Okay, well, let's start. Let's do it.
Yeah.
The China Salesman. For a movie this bad, it sure had a lot of production companies splashed in the front of it.
That's like any Asian film is like that. Almost any international film is like...
It had about 17 production companies that it had to tag going into it.
Takes a lot of work to make something this bad.
Whew. So, the sun rises on the African desert. A voiceover tells us that there's a war between the North and the South, but it suddenly stopped, and now telecommunications are the most important project in this developing nation. And apparently the Chinese man riding the camel through the streets where many cars are present is the man sent in to set it all up. Maybe. I don't know. The subtitles go by in a split second, and I'm already angry that this movie got through our screening process.
But in a really surprising twist, though, the subtitles were necessary to understand. They actually spoke English most of the movie.
Yeah.
But the subtitles didn't match up with what they were fucking saying.
Not
even the English speaking, the people that spoke perfect English, the subtitles weren't even fucking close to what they were saying.
What was y'all's favorite?
And many times it said the polar opposite of what they were saying.
What was y'all's favorite missed closed caption?
Oh, hang on. I got to find it. I got it later. Talk amongst yourselves while I find it.
Mine was when Mike Tyson's in the tank and he yells fire and the subtitles say guy.
Okay. I found mine.
Okay.
This is the point where Michael, the Frenchman, is talking to Mike Tyson, Kaba, and he says, the curtain is up, but the subtitles say the rug has fallen.
Yeah.
Someone deliberately did that.
Oh, man. Well, I think I don't think this ever got American distribution or something.
It did.
So these subtitles are, were
atrocious,
made by some poor Chinese guy who didn't know it was being said.
It's almost as if it was English translated to Chinese and then back from Chinese to English.
Exactly. Yes.
And the spoken dialogue, they did it the way they do the international movies where there's people of all nations involved, where they'll all speak English, even if it's poor English, and then they dub over 100% of it.
Yes.
Because they're not going to use that audio anyway. But when they gave it to the West, they said, just use what we recorded. So
I think you're right.
When the Chinese actors are speaking English, it's the most broken, unintelligible English possible.
Yeah.
There's many times where the main character will he just says gibberish. It's not Chinese and it's not English. It's just sounds.
It seems like some of it. It seems like they were trying to have them deliver their lines phonetically or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was rough, but without the subtitles, I don't know.
Oh, you'd have been completely lost.
Would have been even more lost.
Right.
Yeah. God. So, okay. Yeah, and then when the title card, the first goddamn thing in the movie, the China Salesman, the subtitles, a China seller.
See, this movie was good. Good for the show, I mean.
All right, so we waste no time, and we cut to old Butterscotch himself, busting open a barrel of God knows what and slurping a handful down off his greasy smoked sausage fingers.
Yeah, how does he pick up liquid with his fingers?
This disgusting bastard. He tells his men to show them the guns, and he shakes hands with the African man that he's making the deal with. Cut to a couple of French people sitting at a table having pastries. Seagal's gonna bust in there like the Kool-Aid man. He's already got the shirt for it.
Yes, he does.
When he's done, he'll wipe his face with a tablecloth. The man, let's call him Mustache for now, because it's a while before we learn his name. He's telling Susanna that there's a car that she can take, but she says there's certain lines that they shouldn't cross. He agrees, and we cut away. Well, thanks for that scene, movie.
Yeah, what was that about?
It's called sexual tension, fellas.
95% of this movie didn't need to be filmed because 95% of the scenes don't offer up any information. They don't forward the plot. They're just there.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Well, this entire opening sequence has nothing to do with anything. I mean, the first 15 minutes is nothing.
Yeah, but the first 15 minutes of most movies has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Not good movies.
What kind of statement is that? Yeah, the first 15 minutes of Jurassic Park has nothing to do with the movie.
Nothing at all.
Nothing. I mean,
those are random people dealing with a completely separate dinosaur event.
I probably shouldn't say it, but I mean, the whole setup of the Shire in Lord of the Rings, did we really need to see that?
Well, without it, we wouldn't know why Frodo missed the Shire so much.
Well,
yeah. How would we know it was time for the strawberries and cream?
Look, not important. I mean, Gandalf and Frodo really had nothing to do with that whole story.
Okay.
Fuck. Okay. Moving on. Cut to the China Salesman and his partner. His name's Jian, and her name is Ruan. If I'm saying that wrong,
confusing at all.
Yeah, if I'm saying that wrong, sorry, but I don't have the energy. They're the team that's working to set up the mobile network for DH is the company that they work for. DH Telecommunications. I don't know. Fuck it. He's fiddling with some gadget as a bunch of unimportant dialogue rambles out that I'm not spending 15 minutes going back and writing down. Cut back to the African man, whose name we find out is Asaid, meeting with Mr. Carlos, some old white guy in a hat. There's a separate meeting taking place with Mustache and Mike Goddamn Tyson, also known as Kaba. Mustache gives Kaba a file on the Minthulu Kingdom, and he tells him that these are Kaba's ancestors who all but died out 2,000 years ago, but they left a glorious page in history. I really don't care.
Right.
From the second Tyson comes on screen, though, I'm laughing. I want to say that he can't even walk naturally. Like, the entire time he's walking, it looks like he's thinking to himself, like, left, right, left, right. It's like he's being remote controlled.
Oh, God. Well,
he is being remote controlled by his crippling debt.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So Kaba flips through the document and speaks. Hoo boy. This is going to take a while to get through because I'm going to have to literally pause the movie and compose myself after every time he speaks aloud. He vows to get his people's nation back from them, but he starts to say country and then he catches it and he says nation because that's what it said on the script, and they just kept it because they were never using this audio anyway.
Right.
Back to the Chinese team. They're explaining that Susanna is in charge of the mobile systems development and doesn't think the Chinese have the tech to pull off this request. Cut back to Asaid and Carlos's meeting. Having smelled fresh food from 5 kilometers away, Seagal wanders into the room. He walks up, and at this point, I'm confused if we're even in the same building. Because it's cutting between Asaid and Carlos having a meeting, and Seagal, and then the Chinese team. Is this 3 different places? Or is Seagal and the other 2 guys in the same place? They are, but it doesn't seem that way.
Well, no, I thought Carlos and Asaid and Michael and Susanna were in the same place as
they are.
Yeah, okay. And then the Chinese team is somewhere else.
But the mental patient of an editor that cobbled this thing together didn't do it any favors.
No.
To get that information across.
I think we're led to believe that Seagal is in possession of an Infinity Stone, and he's everywhere and anywhere all at the same time.
He's only in possession of it because he thought it was a jelly bean and he ate it.
Yeah, he ate it. Yeah.
Anyway, Seagal lumbers up to the table with Kaba and Michael, and he wheezes out an incomprehensible line of dialogue.
This is by far the worst mumbling Seagal has done in a movie ever. And it tickled me pink.
Look, he doesn't listen to his directors anyway. And now he's got like a Chinese guy telling him what to do. He's not going to listen to this dude.
I guarantee he was bowing to everybody on that set constantly, though.
Well, actually, it was very hard to get him into the movie.
Oh, Lord, some Seagal tidbits.
Yes. Him and Tyson both wouldn't sign to be on to the movie unless they were the ones who won the fight between the two.
Oh,
I was wondering about that.
So they told them that it would be a draw. It did not end in a draw.
No, it did not.
But
so I'm assuming that was not Seagal.
No. Well, obviously it's not Seagal. That's another thing I'm going to bring up. That was not Seagal. But, yeah, it was, they wanted to be the ones who won, Tyson or Seagal. And Tyson was such a bad actor, believe it or not, that they had to do all of his scenes in chronological order so he wouldn't lose his place.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my fucking Christ.
Yeah. Get Mike Tyson in your movie, they said. It'll be great, they said.
I also just want to say, the fight that they have has no bearing on the movie at all.
No, but it's pretty fucking awesome.
We'll get to it. There's detailed notes about that. Anyway, Seagal offers them a drink, which Kaba refuses. Michael explains that Seagal won't let anyone leave if they don't drink for fear of them reporting him for selling alcohol, which is forbidden in this country. Kaba again refuses, saying that he won't report anyone, but he's going to stick to his faith, and he does not drink. Seagal then orders up a piping hot glass of piss for him to drink instead, which budget Stone Cold Steve Austin delivers to him.
This part is so crazy. So Kaba doesn't want to drink, so Seagal goes straight to his piss guy.
Yeah.
Like, he gives him a wordless point at a guy, and that guy pisses in a mug.
It's happened so many times.
They do it so much. They have an understanding that a simple point means to piss into a mug.
I wonder what the job interview process was. So you know how to make a cosmopolitan, but can you piss in a mug on command?
How big is your bladder? They have a guy on deck at all times whose bladder is like screaming.
Exactly.
Just in case.
Just praying.
A frothy mug of piss.
Sitting there praying, I hope somebody doesn't want to drink today.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
So Kaba erupts into a fury and slams Budget Stone Cold's head into the table and uppercuts him across the room so hard, Saeed and Carlos hear them from all the way up in the other scene. The patrons flee the bar as Kaba squares up with a gang of thugs. He quickly dispatches the martial arts wielding goons using only boxing techniques and pure unbridled monster strength.
Which, first off, that would just be a true statement in real life. Monster strength in boxing is what Mike Tyson is. The second thing is the martial artist with the dreadlocks.
Mm-hmm.
He fought in the Mortal Kombat movie, the first one.
Hell yeah.
He's the one that got turned like that. It was one of the first ones that Shang Tsung sucked out his soul.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That totally took me out of the scene. As soon as I saw him, I was like, "Oh yeah, that's a dude who lost his soul."
Oh yeah. Now I remember him.
Yep.
God, he's in this thing for like 2 seconds.
How many times I've seen Mortal Kombat? Jesus Christ. Speaking of shitty movies.
Yeah. So, Budget Stone Cold throws a barrel at him, which Kaba easily uppercuts into splinters.
That's right. And then one of those splinters hit him in the forehead.
Yeah.
And I laughed and laughed.
Another goon comes in and connects with a roundhouse kick, but Kaba's head is unmoved like he's Luke fucking Cage or something.
He is Mike Tyson.
The woman bartender smashes a bottle of liquor over Kaba's head when he spins around and knocks her out. Seagal magically
Mike Tyson's
apparates.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
I love you, Mike, but you're not known for treating the women fairly.
Yeah. Seagal magically apparates over to him, and the slap boxing commences.
Oh, man.
Oh, gee. It's a clash of rapist titans.
Oh, man. So, Seagal, as they square up, Seagal takes off his picnic blanket of a scarf.
What was that thing? He's got like... this time it's not the jackets, it's these weird little tiny scarves that don't serve a purpose.
I'm sure it's encrusted with the mouth wipings of 1,000 egg salad sandwiches. And he wraps it around this bartender while mumbling and sputtering some nonsense at her.
What he mumbled was, I like to leave this on because it hides my fourth chin.
He turns to his crew and says, "You're a bunch of assholes. Get the fuck out of here." But the subtitles say, "You're a bunch of assholes, the whole bunch. Scratch with you, all the same." Son of a bitch.
I love this movie.
Oh my god.
Scratch with you. So his goons limp away as we enter a magical, fantastical land where 385-pound Steven Seagal withstands an assault by a still-in-shape Mike fucking Tyson. Seagal slaps away these megaton punches being thrown at him as if they were Nerf darts. He slaps Tyson on the ear, which I guess is supposed to mean something.
I don't know if it was like a Holyfield reference or...
They dedicated a shot to him slapping his ear.
It's a devastating ear flick.
They explode through some bar where the tables surprisingly turn, and Kaba gets the upper hand and slams Seagal's head into a rack of liquor and holds him there. "You send me pee, you die."
And let's get this straight. This tall, skinny, in-shape Seagal that all of a sudden appeared behind the bar to get his ass whipped. It was not the same guy.
Yeah. So they shot it ending in a draw, threw away that cut, brought Tyson back in, and shot the true ending.
Yeah. Find me an asshole with a ponytail.
What about the same body type? Forget it.
Fuck it. There's no way you could replicate that Death Star of a human being.
Yeah. So Michael tells Kaba that they need to leave, or that they're kidding, depending on if you trust the subtitles.
Yeah, I went with the subtitles on this one.
Yeah. He then finishes off Seagal with a left hook, and they head out.
But then he delivers my favorite line in the movie. "Motherfucker, you drink piss."
That wasn't in the script at all. That was just fucking Tyson.
No, that was just him. He was like, you seriously, you drink piss.
Yeah. And everybody on set immediately took a big old swig of piss because nobody wants to mess with that monster.
So, cut to some embassy where Miss Ruan and Mr. Jian are meeting with Director Omar and Susanna. They're all there to make their bids to get a contract for the mobile communications contract.
Oh, God.
This whole scene is ridiculous. From the heavy accents and the mismatched subtitles and the dubbing trying to keep pace with the off-cut lip movements. basically, the Chinese are pissed that the meeting is set up unfairly in favor of the European bids. Jian makes a big speech about 3G being made the standard of the bidding, and they will bid formally on July 31st.
See, it's a guy that really enjoys his job that just wants it to be more exciting. Like, that's the mind frame you got to be in.
Yeah, it's like this could only have been made by the Chinese.
Yeah.
This is like the Office Space of China.
Just with kung fu scenes.
So we cut to the DH headquarters in Beijing. Jian is on the phone with manager Zhao about getting the 3G prototype ready in a week. She says it may not be ready in time, and just like that, the scene's over. The next day, Jian is about to tell Omar that he was bluffing? I don't know. Omar is left with the president and won't be back for a few days, though. Jian overhears Michael and Susanna talking about him, and that he's in over his head. Another scene over.
We got the information. I don't know why you're upset.
That's not information, though. That's just randomness.
It was information.
It was also, like, really difficult to follow. I mean...
Well, yeah, they establish a scene with multiple exterior establishing shots, have two completely separate groups of characters intercut with each other. They each deliver 1 to 2 lines of dialogue, and then they change scenes completely.
Yep. It takes a hell of a cinematographer to do all that.
Oh, boy. So, cut to more nonsense jargon about lowering the connection speed of 3G by 1.5 seconds with a new group of characters Jian is talking to. They made a movie about a telecommunications contract bidding war. Then they realized, holy shit, we just made a movie about a telecommunications contract bidding war. No one's going to watch this. Cram Steven Seagal and Mike Tyson in it for no reason whatsoever.
No, you're wrong. It was... Hey, remember that time we was in that telecommunications bidding war? It was a lot like a real war. Hey, what if a real war broke out while we're in a telecommunications bidding war? There's your movie.
Why don't we just make a movie about a war? Why does it have to have telecommunications contract bidding at all?
Because how many movies about war have you watched that also have a telecommunications bidding war in it?
One. Yeah. And it's too many.
Exactly.
Anyway, I thought of you at this point, Blake, and I was like, Seagal and Tyson are the figurative pie that someone begged to be thrown in the midst of all this excruciating minutia.
Yeah, somebody throw a pie. Oh, that just made it all worth it right there.
So, cut to Rian in some other establishment, because sure, Seagal approaches in one of his award-winning shirts. He's wringing his hands together as he approaches her, thinking, "Ooh, I can't wait to paw me some Asian." The disgusting bastard. So, cut to Jian clacking away on a keyboard for 5 seconds. Cut to Tyson asleep at his desk for half a second. Cut back to Seagal for 1 second. Cut back to Jian for 2 seconds. And cut to the next day. For the love of fuck, I hate this movie.
Look, if it's just above your computation level, I can't help that. I mean, the smart people in the room get it.
John, you here to weigh in on that statement?
I didn't say anything about John.
No, the movie's garbage.
As it should be. Freaking pansies over here.
So, more nonsense about Jian writing a program, Tyson spying on him, Michael's getting...
I don't know what it is about this movie, but, like, I've never cared less about the events transpiring on screen in my life.
Can't wait for it to be
and
over.
I don't know how to express that through words, you know? Like, I don't know how to give the audience the feeling that I felt, where I was just like, this is torture.
It's safe to say that telecommunications is a horrible, horrible business to be in. I feel sorry for you if you're in it.
Yeah.
Because it seems just terrible.
Yeah, there's kung fu fights and kiss mugs and all kind of craziness going on.
That's the thing. It's like they even brought in Tyson and Seagal and tanks and lots of army fighting and stuff, and it's still like I've never ever cared less.
Let me throw 5 words about everything you just said. I think it's 5 words. I'm going to have to count them out and say it. Based on a true story.
Yeah, well, so was Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and
so was Ginger Dead Man.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so the next scene is the most exciting thing that happened in the movie for me. And unfortunately, it does not pay off. So we cut to Seagal sitting at his desk. And on his desk, there is a picture of him from, I shit you not, Sniper Special Ops.
It is that. Yes, it is.
It is a screen cap of him as Overwatch from Sniper Special Ops. Mm-hmm. And I damn near had a stroke.
It's a shared universe.
If this is a shared universe movie, and he's a retired Overwatch running an illegal booze den in Africa, no.
Yes.
No.
That's exactly what this is.
I can't handle this movie at this point.
I'm sure what it really is they just wanted to give you a reason for him to actually be able to fight or whatever. Mm. So they're just like, hey, look, he used to be in the military or something.
Yeah.
Also, like how
they
later
used a still picture of him from another movie he's in.
Yeah.
Later on, they show a picture of him like he's wearing like a wife beater, but he's still holding an assault rifle. And like all I can think is, I want that picture in my office. Like that and the Russian dude from that submarine movie we watched, whatever.
Yeah, the commissar or whatever. Yeah.
Those 2 pictures in my office. That's what I need.
So the female bartender from earlier comes in with his drinks, and he gets right to the sexual harassment.
Oh, immediately.
So at this point, I found one little glimmer of solace in this movie. Behind him on the wall is a poster of a 1934 Indian motorcycle, and I thought of Jean-Claude Van Damme in Desert Heat. And I was happy for one brief moment watching this movie.
I was like, when I first started watching it, like, I know Seagal's in it, so I was like, I wonder if there's going to be the contractually obligated, like, hand-on-ass scene for Seagal. Mm-hmm. And sure enough, it was like, oh, there it was.
Sure enough. Boom, there it is.
Yep. 2 things for me to be in your film. 1, I can't lose the fight with that monster Mike Tyson. 2, I need a sweet piece of ace.
He comes on set. Which one am I going to be fondling?
Yeah.
So Michael calls up Seagal and hires him to obtain Jiang's program. The next day, the whole crew is out at a cell tower getting it set up, and just like that, the scene's over. I'm not pausing this shit anymore. Fuck it. I'm just letting it run. If I miss something, I fucking miss it. So Jian and Susanna are driving to another tower by themselves now for some reason, and Jian climbs up to the top. He sets something up as Susanna marvels at the Grand Canyon that she strolled over to from Africa. Mm-hmm. In the distance, Susanna hears a little girl crying, and they all teleport over to find a gang of women that they think is about to sacrifice a child. Sure. Jian scoops her up, and they just straight up kidnap her. And they're pursued by African Indiana Jones and his bullwhip, who whips Jiang out of the truck. As they're pursuing Susanna, one of the horses trips, which I don't know was scripted or not.
That horse fucking died right there on scene.
Because they're all riding after her. They're right on her. Then one of the horses just goes end over end, and they just give up.
They're hauling ass after this truck, and that horse just straight up ate shit. Like right there.
in the credits it said all animals were harmed and eaten in the filming of this picture.
It says specifically that horse fucking died in that scene.
No animals were harmed in this movie except for that horse. That one's fucking dead.
He died and was delicious.
Speaking of which, you know how many Milo and Otises they went through to film that movie?
They just kept chucking them off of that waterfall.
Jesus. They said they went through like 8 pugs for that fucking bear scene.
Oh, jeez. Didn't they film that in... They filmed that somewhere in Asia where they don't have laws.
That's what it
exactly.
was. And they just sent it over and like let somebody else read it over here.
Yeah. Take that, everyone's childhood. Yeah. If you didn't know that already. So, Susanna gets away with the girl. Later, Jian is strung up by the tribe as they prepare to do something bad to him. Susanna gets the girl to a hospital and drops her off. The horsemen aren't far behind. One of them is the girl's father, who gets on a cell phone and calls Asaid, who's back with Jian. So I guess it seems like they were performing female circumcision on the girl.
That was my guess.
As a thing in Africa.
Right, but everybody was like, okay, like as soon as he called the guy on the phone, everybody was like, oh, well, everything's fine. Like, we know you just kidnapped our daughter. We may or may not have been performing female genital mutilation, but let's have a drink about it. Everything's cool.
Yeah.
And then he has some line about how like they just have different cultures or whatever, and I'm like, still though.
What's more important? None of this matters.
Yeah.
None of this has any bearing on the overall plot of this movie at all. Nothing that's happened so far has any bearing on the overall plot of this movie.
No, actually, it does. It does. Well, no, it doesn't.
Yeah, don't. Just don't.
No.
It kind of does. Because, okay, he got drunk with the people, and they gave him the 2 water bags filled with alcohol, and he dumped those out and put goat's milk in it, and for some reason got arrested for it, but they never explained what was going on with that.
That hasn't happened yet.
I know, but I'm just saying that it's important, because if we would have known any of this, the whole goat milk thing wouldn't have made any sense. Wait, it didn't make sense anyway.
What the fuck are you talking about?
What are you babbling on about, you dumb bastard? Never mind.
Anyway, the next day, Ruan and Jian are driving somewhere that I'm sure is completely pointless. We get a little tidbit that the tribe that they were just captured by is really big on drinking. Okay, tuck that away in your cap. Susanna complains to Omar about the business practices. Kaba pays off the cops. Jiang buys goat's milk. All this happens in a fraction of a second. Cut to yet another contract bidding conference. Yay. Michael's team and Jiang's team are the only 2 to make it through the next round of bidding. They turn on their servers to test them. Jiang's program gets a lot of bad feedback during the test, which is a conversation between an elephant and a cobra.
Right. It was because they set up a jammer.
Yeah. They set up a jammer to screw with them so that they can win. The French are the bad guys. Just if you didn't catch on to that.
Well, that's
as
just a good
per usual.
Right there.
Yeah. So just then, the military burst in, and they reveal that the goat's milk that Jian bought is actually alcohol, and now he's under arrest. At this point, Kaba and his men bust in and start wrecking up the joint. Kaba slaps around Michael in a fake little showing of force to make everyone think that he's not working with him. Pulls him aside to another room. There's a long scene of this guy Philip that works with Michael finding out about his scheme, and a ton of dialogue just for Michael to shoot him, rendering the scene completely pointless. This is where the curtain is up, the rug has fallen line happens. Then yet a third military force busts in and starts shooting up the other military force that took out the original military force.
Yeah, I'll give it to you on this. I got confused as to who was who at this point.
I have no idea what's happening anymore.
It's just a bunch of guys in camo.
Yeah.
They have to restore the network by 9 p.m. the next night so that the North and South leaders can be heard speaking to each other to prevent the Civil War or something. So, yeah. Don't worry. I'm on my last page of notes.
Yeah, I have like 10 more
We're
lines.
not even
notes.
an hour into this. Jian wants to use landlines to hook up the wireless servers, and they get to work. They get it up and running, but Michael orders the destruction of the 3 cell towers to stop them. Jian and Susanna head out to fix them after more meaningless dialogue. Kaba ambushes them on the road. They exchange fire for a while before Kaba retreats, having accomplished nothing, and another meaningless scene is notched into this movie's belt. Jian fixes the first tower, and they head for the second. They get pinned down by the southern military forces. So a 4th military force has been introduced into this movie. So Jian decides to run out into the open with the Chinese flag to confuse and disorient the men. He plants the flag in the ground after being shot at, effectively claiming Africa for China, because those are the rules of flags.
Right.
That's how they work.
The men stand down immediately, and they're able to pass unharmed.
Dude, Africans love China.
Yeah. just start waving a Chinese flag. You can just drive through the most war-torn parts of any country.
You're all set. So I think this is the point where I started to have something dawned on me. Because it's really weird to have this action movie where like the titular character isn't even active in the action. He just like runs and hides and stuff. And
yeah,
you know, it's the more interesting story would have been about the Civil War or something, but they chose to focus on this character. and it's because this movie is Chinese propaganda.
Whoa.
It is. If you
easy.
This is something that I thought was really funny because you picked it, Blake, but it's produced by the Central Committee of the Communist Youth League of China.
Yeah, I saw that.
and like a handful of other party committee propaganda departments.
Yeah, I saw that. I got a good chuckle out of that.
Yeah, so after I found out that it was just Chinese propaganda, it started to make a little bit more sense to me.
Yeah. Oh boy. So they get the second tower up and running, and they head for the third. The third tower explodes as they arrive, and they're attacked by Kaba's men again. During the fight, Kaba's knocked out inside of his tank, and Jian is run over by a Hummer.
Boy,
the
commander out of him.
The commander of the military, who is assisting Jian, is sniped by Kaba from somewhere in L.A. where he's filming on his green screen. Jian and Susanna then flee into the desert. Kaba's men then get held up by a sandstorm, to which Kaba exclaims, "Shit!" But the subtitles say, "Satan!"
Yeah.
I love this whole thing with Tyson chasing him around in a tank. And it's just like Tyson is just sitting in a tiny room that doubles for the inside of a tank.
He just shot it in the closet. That's what the inside of a tank looks like, right?
Yeah, that's all it is. They'll have like a shot of the outside of the tank. It's like bouncing along in the desert, and then they cut to inside the tank, and he's just like steadily taking a drink of water without spilling it all over himself.
He's just sitting in a freestanding office chair.
So
yeah,
ridiculous.
but it still looked a lot better than the homemade sub in that other movie.
Okay, I just want to point out, folks, that this is the halfway point of this movie.
See, that's what I was gonna say. I thought, like, at this point, I was like, oh, cool, the movie's almost over. Like, you know, we got all the towers going, blah, blah, everything's going to be good. And I looked at the time bar, I was like, what?
There's another hour. So let me just, okay, we're about 50 minutes into this podcast episode. I've gone through 4.5 pages of notes, and that's the first half of the movie. But don't worry, everybody. The second half of the movie, I have in half a page.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get
Knock
through the rest
it
of
out.
it pretty good.
Because at this point, I said, fuck this. And I started jumping ahead in 2-minute increments, just getting the loosest gist of what's going on. So John and Susanna have some discussion in the car that lasts for about 15 goddamn minutes. They find another tower somewhere, and they set up a last defense. That tower gets blown up, and John falls off of it. Kaba gets in a rocket launcher war with a UN helicopter that shows up, which he loses. He gets knocked out.
Right.
They use the helicopter to finish the link. They put the little mobile device in the helicopter and they fly it up high, and they use it as the beacon so that the North and South leaders can talk, and they end the Civil War. Peace in the streets. Kaba gets captured by Asaid.
I love the idea of a bunch of soldiers yelling peace while firing their weapons into the air.
Those bullets aren't going to come down later or anything.
No.
So, Asaid sends off Kaba on a horse, sparing his life, telling him to, repent on your ways or some shit. The China DH Telecom wins the bidding. Michael shows up and says that he's got proof that China DH Telecom stole the technology from MTM, which is his company. Michael then threatens Seagal for some reason. You know Steven Seagal, the guy that was supposed to be in this movie that sold us on watching the fucking thing?
He was in it.
So, apparently, at some point that I didn't see, Seagal stole the program that Michael needs back?
Yeah.
Or something? Ninjas attack? Fucking ninjas attack?
Movie's got everything.
Asaid is killed
Except
by the ninjas.
my interest.
Asaid is killed by the ninjas, and he puts the fate of Africa in Jian's hands as he does his best Lawrence of Arabia impression. At least 10 more boardroom meeting scenes happen. More Jian driving around talking to people. Michael finds Kaba working in a mine somewhere and tries to rehire him, but he wants nothing to do with it. But Michael twists his arm into helping anyway. They kidnap Jian on board of a cruise ship that we're now on. The setting is now shifted to.
Right.
Kaba and Jiang quote-unquote fight, but Jiang shows Kaba that Michael killed some guy that's important to Kaba, and that pisses Kaba off, but not enough for him to stop working with him quite yet. Seagal teams up with the Chinese to help Jiang. More stupid heist shit as Jiang is clacking away on keyboards and Kaba hides explosives all over some mansion somewhere.
See, whenever he's typing on a keyboard and stuff, that's what I'm talking about, where it's just a guy that really likes his job. Because it's not like he's doing it, he's not like a hacker or anything. He's just like doing his job. So that's what I really enjoyed that. Because it's just
he's
a dude
doing
his
data
job.
entry.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be the same as if like he worked at like a 5-minute oil change and he was just like changing oil. And they just put some fancy music behind it and everything. He's just doing his job.
Yeah, it's slow motion. He's like changing the filter and shit.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But somehow it's saving the world. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, he's changing the filter on some sort of world leader's car while he's under attack.
So in this mansion that Kaba's hidden explosives all over, he steps to the front of the room and he makes it seem like he's holding everyone hostage with these explosives. But he turns on the screen and it shows that he's tied up Michael with explosives on him. And he blows up Michael on camera in front of a bunch of people. That was a pretty satisfying
explosion. Y'all have to say that.
Yeah, that was all right.
I mean, it was only his legs were left.
Yeah. So he blows up Michael and he turns to the cameras and he puts out the word to the rest of his people that I can't remember the names of, but he tells them to stop the war for reclaiming their kingdom, and he shoots himself in the head. And then Jian and Ryun walk out into the open, and it looks fake as hell, and the movie ends. Now...
No, he gets arrested.
Well, yeah, he gets... Okay.
And that was Susanna, right, that he went out with?
It was Susanna.
It was Susanna, yeah. Okay, now. There's some wrap-up credits. Now, I'm going to read exactly what the movie says, and then I'm going to follow that up with what the credits say.
Well, good for you, because I didn't read either of those. I was done.
Okay. This is what the movie actually says. Yan Jian was under arrest for fabricating documents and illegally releasing DH3G source code. 2 days later, he was released without charges. Later, he turned down the offer of a promotion from DH, choosing to return to Africa and continue advancing the African mobile communications market. Releasing 3G source code not only broke down the long-term monopoly bearers and unseen rules of the telecommunication industry, but also boosted global mobile telecommunications development. Whether we are in Europe, America, Asia, or Africa, and whether we are rich or poor, very soon we will all enjoy the same technology. Our dream of a global village will come true. DH soon won the intellectual property lawsuit, and several years later quickly became a world-class transnational enterprise in the telecommunications technologies. What the subtitles say. Yan Jian was responsible to publish the code and leave 2 days later. Than, no premium and tougher to Africa to develop the telecommunications market. With the code published, the monopoly was broken, and the global development was together everywhere we live, or who, we are we, recommend awesome of the same technology. DH was the right say, and was a big important player in the telecom branching.
I love this
branching.
It switched to German for the last. It's telecom, Telekom branching. The end of this fucking movie.
Oh man,
It was good shit.
what was with that weird like montage of Susanna taking a bath and stuff?
Oh yeah,
It was like
put that in there.
intercut with Jan dramatically falling down dunes.
They needed some nude back in the movie.
Yeah, some sweet back.
Oh, Blake, you fucked us again.
I'm only doing what I'm supposed to do.
It was rough,
a show about shitty movies.
What? Try my patience?
No. Look, a long time ago, Chase said, hey, I'd like to make a podcast where we watch shitty movies. And I said, yeah, that sounds good. Here we are. I don't know how many years later, I submit a shitty movie, and I'm an asshole.
We should maybe change the name and format of the show. It's a game show now called Try Chase's Patience.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And look, we're in what season we in now? 3?
Yeah.
You know what's coming from me. I'm gonna find, at least once a season, I have to shake things up a bit because I'm the only person pushing envelopes around here.
Wait. Okay. So you felt the need to shake up the show 3 fucking episodes into it?
I did it 2 episodes last time. Look, I can't be the only one coming up with telecommunication warfare and Bigfoot dicks. Y'all need to step up.
It's calling us out. It's calling us out, Chase.
Good Christ. Okay,
man.
Okay. I spared you guys a movie. When I brought out what's his fuck Frank Stallone.
That's my point. We're supposed to watch shitty movies so nobody else has to.
Oh, it's coming.
Good.
It's coming.
Good.
And you're gonna hate me. You are gonna hate me forever.
No, I'll be like, thanks for stepping up, Chase. I couldn't carry y'all's ass for another season.
Jesus Christ.
Bonus questions. Shit.
All right. Shit. Where do I have those? Okay. And the end, the little award ceremony at the end of the movie. What is on the big screen behind Kaba when he's giving his speech? Like there's words. What does it say?
There's words?
Yep. I have a question for y'all. What was the name of the company again? DH or DM?
DH.
DH.
Yeah, DH.
Okay, that's what it was. All right. Y'all, oh yeah, and question number 2. What police force arrested Jian at the end of the movie? All right. What was on the screen?
DH Telecommunications, number 1.
Close, but no.
DH is God.
Close. DH is the winner. And what police...
Come on, I think we should get partial credit for that. That was damn close.
It was pretty close.
Is the winner.
And what police force arrested Jian at the end of the movie?
The T-Mobile Task Force.
No.
I couldn't remember. I thought it started with like an M. It's like some Southeast Asian.
You would be
force.
Dead wrong.
Oh, okay.
It was the Tunisian police.
Tunisian. Okay.
And before John, it's John that's given his pick, right? Before that happens, I just wanted to say, and John, I'm sorry, I have to come clean about this.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to pick this movie. John
really?
called me and told me to pick the movie.
I think it's clear that this is a complete fabrication.
John, he threatened me and told me I had to pick the movie because he wanted his movie to look better than mine.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
because John has struggled so much making his movies not shitty like yours.
Because John is a cheater.
How is that? I don't understand my own plan here. Oh my god.
He's trying to
Coming
make me look bad.
Coming attractions. What do you got, John?
All right.
Please give me some sort of cinematic sorbet to wash this fucking thing out of my
The
mouth.
China Salesman 2.
Jesus. No, nothing like that.
Well, I was having a hard time. Well, first of all right, motherfuckers. I wanted revenge super bad this time because, well, Fateful Findings, you win. Fateful Findings is gone from Amazon, so we'll never watch it.
Wait, it's really gone?
It's not streaming anymore.
2 seasons in a row.
I swear to God, my vision started closing in on me. When
I told you it wouldn't make it to next season. So that made me mad, and then this movie made me mad. So I have 2 movies. One is absolute dog shit, and we would all hate it.
Go for
and
it.
the other one is could be a lot of fun, but it is also bad.
Leaving this one on you.
Be a man and go with the dog shit one.
Okay. It's called Born into Mafia. It's got 3 stars on Amazon, 1.8 on IMDb.
Ooh, almost got there.
It's directed by a guy named Vitaly Versace, who
That's not real.
it might not be his real name. The guy is kind of an enigma.
A guy named Vito Salami.
He's he's actually the director. Remember I mentioned Eric Roberts was in a movie called Homie Alone.
Yeah.
This is the director of Homie Alone, which they've since changed the name to Beverly Hills Bandits. But anyway,
not nearly as good.
Anyway, this guy's like a complete fraud. He's like from Russia.
So wait, he ain't even Italian?
No, he's Russian.
So that's definitely not his name.
Yeah, no.
Old Salvatore Spaghetti.
Gino Baloney.
He's like totally delusional about movie making. I mean, this thing is awful. Everything about it is terrible. He's got no idea what he's doing, and he keeps making movies. He keeps doing it, and he makes rip-off movies, and he makes movies that should never be made, like, at this terrible level about, like, serious tragedies. Like, he made a movie called Utoya Island about the mass killing in Norway by Anders Breivik or whatever, and you can't imagine, like, why a person with no ability at filmmaking would try to make something like that. Like, it's just, you know, obviously comes off as really ugly. He also made a version of The Jungle Book.
Why are we not watching that?
Well, it's not. It's on Amazon, but it's like you can watch it for free, but with commercials or something. It's like I've never seen that before.
That makes it even more interesting.
But yeah, his version of The Jungle Book has like just weirdos in animal costumes.
Oh, come on. You deprived us of that?
Well, we could still watch it later.
Just because it's got commercials?
I don't know.
Weirdos and animal costumes.
No, Jesus.
Well, there's this actor that he works with a lot who seems to be just some homeless guy he found and just like films him.
I'm picturing the DVD cover of this movie, and it's got like all the little quotes by different cinematic like things, and it just says Garbage Theater, weirdos and animal costumes. With like 5 exclamation points.
So not only is he trying to do the thing where he like confuses people about what movie they're watching, you know, because I think he put out his Jungle Book movie right around the time that Disney put out their live action one. His like
to compete
or to just confuse.
Boy, can you imagine somebody bought that on Amazon? What the shit is this?
I almost think he thinks that he wants to show them how to do it right. Like he thinks he's doing better.
I like this guy.
There's like he's got a YouTube channel where he's got a series of videos starring this weird homeless man that I mentioned. Doing scenes from The Hateful Eight.
Okay.
Because I think he thinks that he could do The Hateful Eight better. And they're supposed to be from a movie he's working on called Hateful Eight Sucks or something.
Shut up.
I swear to God. So yeah, he's
What's the name of the Jungle Book movie?
Oh, it's called like the Jungle Book. It's got some subtitle.
The Forest
It's
Novel.
called Jungle Suck.
The Forest Novel.
It's got some other. No, he just straight calls it the Jungle Book, but it's got a
Tree
subtitle.
Story.
But like the kid, there's like about a kid who has cancer or something. I don't know.
That's what the Jungle Book is missing. A cancer kid.
Yeah. Exactly. And a homeless Baloo. Okay, so
Are you sure it's not like how like that Romeo and Juliet with DiCaprio, where it's like it's a modern retelling of the Jungle Book, but it's in the concrete jungle and Baloo's a homeless man.
Oh, I'd watch that.
yeah, that sounds pretty good. But no, that's not what it is. There's also I found these like sad premiere photos on his Twitter from the Homie Alone premiere.
On his couch.
It's like in some basement.
Was Eric Roberts there?
He didn't have any photos with Eric Roberts. I doubt Eric made it to the premiere.
He didn't go.
No open bar, no Eric Roberts.
He was circling the block, but couldn't find the door to this basement. But it says that it's at Warner Brothers. So he's a liar, he's delusional, and he has no idea what he's doing. So perfect for making films.
Yeah.
So this, Born into Mafia, is his first film, so probably the worst of all of them. Came out in 2007. It's 78 minutes.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Somehow it had a $200,000 budget. According to IMDb, I don't know if I buy that.
I'm sure he lied to a bank to get that loan.
Sure it wasn't 200,000 rubles?
I don't know.
This is not for a movie. It is for Subway franchise.
On the like box art, the tagline says "Once in the Mafia, always in the Mafia." It's got a question
Is this
mark.
a screwball comedy?
It also has like a totally fake review line. It's 4 stars. Best crime film by People Online.
My God.
The Human Fund. Money for people.
Oh God! So the
4 stars from People Review. Review by people.
every person online says it's best crime film. So the description: a concentrate study of a Russian mafia family. Vitaly Versace plays the Russian mafia son, Ivan, runs to America to escape the organized crime curse and start a new life. So he's also the star of this movie.
Of course.
Yeah. Who?
So I'm confused that he's got a phony Italian name. It's not even in the Italian mafia.
Nope. Russian.
Well, that's when he's proud of his Russian roots right there. Which begs the question, how shitty of a name did you have to change it to, what is it again? Vito Versace? What is it?
Eddie Macaroni.
Vitaly Versace.
Vitaly Versace. Ay, ay, ay. So, whenever we do this episode, can we all come up with fake Italian names for ourselves and just go by that for the entire episode?
Oh, yeah.
Sure thing.
I call dubs on Michelangelo Marinara.
Oh, shit.
Keep going.
Okay.
Don't let us stop you.
Well, I'm just about done. But the couple of reviews. This movie is terribly shot, written, and acted. I loved every second of it. And if you can sit through this, you are strong. Not a lot of reviews for this thing out there. So, yeah.
Because everyone that wrote a review for it's in the gulag now.
Yeah. Man.
If we disappear after watching this movie, folks.
Yeah.
you know who. Call the FBI.
Yeah, call
It
somebody.
was Vitaly Versace.
You tell him it was Vitaly Versace.
Oh, yeah, he also made a movie that's like a ripoff of Twilight called The Last Vampire on Earth or something. Oh, my God. We're going to have to watch all of these trailers. You guys are going to flip out.
It was called Last Light Time Before Nightfall.
So that's it. It's Born into Mafia.
I can't help but think that that you should have the word "the" somewhere in there.
You'd think so.
Nah. Not when you're working with cheesy Russian accents.
Born into mafia. Yeah, I guess they don't. Yeah, they try to keep sentences short there.
Yeah.
Bear drinks vodka.
Now I want to say, dust off your bad Russian accents before going into this one, but I said that before Robo War, and we were very disappointed.
This one's got the Russian accents.
Oh, good.
It's got them.
Perfect.
Fantastic.
Well, I think we should use Italian accents because.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah, we're gonna have to all come up with names, and when Chase does the opening to the show, he's gonna have to do it in the accent and introduce us by our Italian names.
Instead of the regular music, it's got the Tetris music.
Yeah. My name is Michelangelo Marinara with my co-host Sal Scalapini and.
Oh man. Okay. Well.
Yeah.
That's that.
Suck on that, jerks.
Born into Mafia will be our next movie. I'd like to take a minute to thank everybody that's been listening. To extremely thank you if you're still listening after watching this movie. You can. I'm so fucking thrown off after this thing. You can subscribe to us on iTunes. Boy, would we like it if you left us a review. Let us know how we're doing. You can find us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Garbage Theater. You can follow us on Twitter at @garbage_theater and on Instagram at @garbage_theater. We're currently reaching out to everybody to give us feedback on how we've plotted out the show. Do you like how we're doing it this season? If not, let us know. We're always looking to shake things up. Not in the bad way like Blake does it, but in good ways.
I'm only doing what I'm supposed to do.
You can shoot us an email at garbagetheaterpodcast@gmail.com to let us know. Anything else, gentlemen, before we put a pin in this one?
No, I'm good.
Any last words?
No, I mean, just God damn it, this was a beast.
It's supposed to be Jesus.
I have nightmares. And I forgot to even say, the picture of him on the desk, sniper, that never comes back.
No. Look, dude, this is the last time I'm saying it's a show about shitty movies.
Motherfucker, okay, you drink piss.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's some good closing words to end the episode. Yeah. Thanks for that one, John. All right.
Thanks, Mike.
We will see you all. We will see you all next time when we watch Born into Mafia. See you then, folks.